Picture this. Your best friend, the person you told everything to, the one who held your hand through your divorce, ends up marrying your ex-husband. Sounds like a soap opera, right? Well, that was my reality. It was a betrayal that cut so deep, I thought I'd never recover. I lost my husband and my best friend in one fell swoop. I spent years trying to piece myself back together, keeping a polite but firm distance from their new life. I focused on my career, found new friends, and built a world where they didn't exist. I thought I had finally moved on, that the worst was behind me. But the universe, it seems, has a twisted sense of humor. It all started with a gift. For my birthday, my cousin gave me one of those popular DNA testing kits. She was super into genealogy and thought it would be fun for us to compare results. I figured, why not? I spat in the tube, sent it off, and honestly forgot all about it. A few weeks later, an email popped up. Your DNA results are in. I clicked on it casually, scrolling through the ethnicity estimates, feeling a little underwhelmed. Then I saw the DNA relatives section. My cousin was there, as expected. A few distant relatives I'd never heard of. And then, a name that made my heart stop. A name I hadn't let myself think about in years. My former best friend. It said we had a 25% DNA match. The label next to her name. Half-sister. I must have read it 100 times. Half-sister. It was impossible. A glitch in the system, a mistake. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of something that made no sense at all. My dad was a kind, quiet man. He loved my mom. An affair? It was unthinkable. But the science was right there in front of me, undeniable. Suddenly, little things started to click into place. The way my dad would always ask about her, a little too intently. The time he bought her a birthday gift that was a bit too expensive for a friend of the family. My world wasn't just shaken. It was completely shattered. The woman who stole my husband was my sister. The anger and confusion were suffocating. But underneath it all, a strange sense of clarity began to form. I needed answers. I couldn't live in this limbo of shock and betrayal. So I did the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I picked up the phone and called my ex-husband. I simply said, "We need to talk." All three of us. The silence on the other end was heavy, but he agreed. When I walked into their house, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. I didn't waste any time. I put the DNA results down on the coffee table between us. I watched their faces as the realization dawned on them. First confusion, then shock, then a wave of emotions I couldn't even begin to decipher. The truth finally came out in a flood of tears and long-held secrets. My dad had an affair years ago, long before I was even married. He had never told anyone, and my sister had no idea. Her mother had kept the secret her whole life. She had grown up without a father, never knowing he was right there in the background of her best friend's life. And my ex-husband, he was just as blindsided as I was. We all sat there, three broken people in a sea of lies, the casualties of a secret kept for decades. It was raw. It was painful, but for the first time, it was honest. There were apologies, so many apologies. From my dad, who finally confessed to my mom and me. From my sister, who was grappling with her own identity crisis while trying to process the pain she'd caused. There's no easy way to fix a situation like this. Our relationships are complicated. We're not one big happy family, not yet. But we're talking, we're trying to understand. I'm learning to see her not as the friend who betrayed me, but as a sister I never knew I had. It's a long, messy road, but we're navigating it together, one day at a time. It turns out sometimes the most shocking revelations can lead to the most unexpected healing. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It's been a wild ride, and sharing it helps. If you've ever had a life-changing discovery, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about navigating life's craziest curveballs. See you next time.